Welcome back everybody, Chris Bricks here, and today we finish our R34 Too Fast, Too Furious Brian O'Connor Skyline GT-R. And if you've been following me for the last 2 weeks, you know we got the chassis for most part built. We have the inline 6 sitting here put together. We have some steering rack put together. I'm assuming we're going to finish it off because right now we have nothing to actually steer with right now. And as you can see, lots and lots of stickers. There's about 50 stickers in this set. So if you're somebody who loves stickers, this set's for you. If you like things to align when it comes to the stickers, you're gonna hate this set. And if you hate stickers, don't bother. Don't bother. And it's not like you get away with, maybe I just won't put the stickers on because it'll look awkward, because you see this fender right here? That fender is the only printed thing in this view. Everything else here are stickers you get to put on and you get to align. So I know this table never stops squeaking, but I would suggest when putting the stickers on, put the pieces on first and then start aligning based on where the fender is. I know it's going to be hard with this rocker panel, side skirt. I know that's going to be tough to do because you put that on really early, and based on where you put this really messes up everything else around it. I know, because one side is a little jacked, my other side is a little better because I learned my lesson on it. But other than that, other than the stickers, this actually has been a really great build. Definitely a finger killer because these pieces are really rough with snapping in for some reason. Usually I don't have that issue with LEGO, but with my set here, I am having that issue, so it's killing the fingers, but what can you do? And, you know, I'm just excited to get this thing done because, you know, I grew up with Fast and Furious. I enjoy the series for what it is. It's an R34 Skyline, which makes it awesome. And it doesn't even have a passenger seat because you got 3 bottles of NOS that's going to cause destruction to the manifold, of course. So let's get on to bag 7 and finish this beast. bag 7 is done. Doesn't look much different, does it? It's all the little details, if you will notice, because we still don't have the front end built, which that turns out is going to be bag 8. But, as you can see, we did get a little bit of the front done. We have some gearing that was set up right here, and that now allows you to turn the wheels finally after you add about 35 different sprockets in here. It's kind of ridiculous how many gears are in here just to make this thing turn. It's kind of hilarious. You can see them all moving right now, and it does connect to the steering wheel. So the steering wheel is turning. I don't know how well you'll be able to see it. Even if we open this up, I don't know. There we go. Kind of see it going. And as you can see, we added doors also, which also have stickers that you gotta just kind of put it on and hope they match up, because initially I put the door on blank to hope that I could align the stickers better, but the bottom part of the sticker doesn't really want to align at all, unless it kind of goes weirdly over the little holes in the bottom of the door. So just kind of center it, throw it on there, and then align this to whatever the door is and call it a day, because that's about the best you're gonna get. So we did driver's side, passenger side door. You can see we also got the dashboard in. The dashboard does have some pretty cool graphics. You can kind of see it here. Kind of reminds me of those old school Pioneer single din decks that would have like the dolphins go through, and I know I'm dating myself, but back in the early 2000s when that was the cool thing, it had this whole picture, and it was a single color, of course, because it was just blue pixels, but it would kind of do these waves or fireworks, and I had one as well. It was cool at the time. But so we got that. We also built up a little bit of the front, and while you were looking at all the steering mechanisms, you can see we have our intercooler, radiator, probably radiator, although you'd figure on a car like this from the movie you'd have a massive intercooler on the front, but we got it set up right here. We got a little bit more of the front body kit, splitter, bumper, whatever you want to call it, is put together, and then we have some supporting brackets for what will be the fenders that are going to eventually attach to this. So you'll notice these pieces right here. As we said from the Stinger RS, keep it positive, because you know something with a plus sign is going to plug into it, and if these aren't aligned, you're not going to have fun. So just keep it positive, keep it straight up and down like a plus sign, hence keep it positive. In case you didn't see the Stinger RS video, that was a common theme through that entire set, because so much of the car connected with these pieces that it was a real pain if you didn't happen to have everything plus signed up, otherwise you're going to be in complete trouble. And other than that, you had a bunch of leftover pieces, and when I say a bunch, that is for this bag, because this kit has been incredibly stingy the whole entire time. So if you don't have any little tiny pieces, check the bag, check the box, check the floor, and that's pretty much it for bag 7. Bag 8, we're going to finish off the front of the car, front fenders, hood, get the tires on, wheels, and we'll be done with Godzilla. Let's get on to bag 8. bag 8 is done. And as you can probably see, I have a different shirt and different background. That's right, because this is about a week later. Initially, when I filmed this final review, bag, time, all that stuff, I had a family coming into town that night. They were coming in a day earlier than I thought they were going to for some reason. I was just off schedule, so I kind of rushed it, only had one take to really do it, and I didn't really like it. I also dropped in a hint about a set that I thought I was going to get. I did not get it. It's on my list, but I did not get it yet. So the whole thing was a mess. As you can hear, our little black cat, Kit Kat, shaking his head over there in dismay of my mess up. But, you know, what can you do? So here we are, a week later, and as you can see, I don't sound the best because in that week time, my son got the flu, and now I am going through the flu right now. But the show must go on. I got a video release on Friday. While I've only had one video out late, I've never missed a Friday deadline. Don't plan on it now. I'm good enough to kind of finalize this, so let's get the show on the road. All right, so bag 8. You're looking at about 31 minutes, 39 seconds, which kind of consistent with a lot of the bags in this set. And so bags 7 and 8, you got about 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 22 seconds. So bags 7 and 8 were actually your shortest amount of bags if you broke them up into twos like we did. It was pretty, straightforward. As you can see, we finished off the front of the car. We got the hood, we got fenders, we put on some more stickers, headlights, all that kind of stuff. And even got in these nice pillars. I wish they'd actually do this with more of the bigger sets. As you know, I really hate the Ford GT A-pillars because they suck. Why else do you think I don't like them? Because they pop off, they don't stay on very nice, it's just terrible. These ones, this is a solid piece. I actually like how this looks. It looks more like an A-pillar. You may not, they could have filled that part in maybe to give it that more rounded look, or maybe something better than that, but as far as A-pillars go, this one I do like. Now, overall time for this entire build is about 4 hours and 24 minutes, just shy of that. And I can see why, because, first it's 1,410 pieces, but second, we look on the side here, and as you can see, I apologize for sniffling, like I said, I'm getting through the flu right now, but the rear fender, that's the only printed piece. Everything else from here, here. Well, not here because that's a blue piece. But everything else, those are stickers. And they do not like to align very well. I did the best I could. I think I didn't do too bad of a job, but I could see all the places they do not align. Now, I think they really could have made this set, had at least these stickers printed on, made it look beautiful on this car, beautiful graphic on the other side. And then your other regular graphics, like the GT-R grille, the marker lights, you have the side ones, the turn signal, the interior stickers, all those could have stayed. And it would have been perfectly fine. I don't think that would have been an issue. So the breakdown on this set is, you love stickers? Absolutely, get this set. I think there was 50 or so stickers in this set. If you're like me, I don't mind some stickers, but I'm not a fan of ones that won't align. This probably isn't the set for you, but you may get it because you like R34 Skylines, like I do. And I'm not just an R34 fanboy, I like a lot of the Skylines, including the old classic ones as well. I think they're pretty awesome looking. And if you hate stickers, avoid this set at all costs because it's going to do nothing but make you angry. At the end of the day, you're going to smash this set against the wall. It's going to be as simple as that. But overall look of this set, it looks pretty good. The R34 is kind of boxy, which lends itself great to Technic. There's not a lot of big panel gaps. The back looks pretty good. They even got the early 2000s, muffler that everybody used to put on their imports. All the JDMs had it. And of course, you have the crazy graphics. All I need is the light kit to put the blue neon lights underneath and we'd be set on this. So what do you get with this set? Well, you have a functioning trunk. Did not expect that. Now, I do wish that they took the time to fill in the trunk area. Like some of the you know, just flat pieces that you use to smooth out pieces and sets. Just throw a line of that across the back. I don't need it to be a functional trunk or actually put anything in it. But if you actually close this area off, that would be a win in my book. That'd be absolutely awesome that they would do that. But still cool nonetheless that you got a trunk in this car. I didn't know about that. Of course, you got a functional arrow for your car. Doors. They open pretty good. They, for the most part, close pretty good. They don't really get caught up all that much. One thing about this set, though, considering the price point of this set and there being 1,400 pieces, we could have done a little more with the door placards, right? Could have had a little bit more design to it. I mean, the Ford GT had insanely complex doors, like overly engineered, insane. But they had some design to it. The Stinger RS had amazing looking door placards. They were beautiful. But I think LEGO could take some hints from other sets and just, you know, add a little bit more. I mean, this is, I think this is still at Target for like 130, 140 bucks, somewhere around there. You could throw in a little more pieces to decorate this up a little bit better, in my opinion. I do love that they have actual headlights right here, in the sense of clear pieces. You know how much I hate the Aston Martin Valkyrie because they put these dopey looking stickers for headlights that makes it look like it's having a sad day every day. I wish they could have taken clear pieces, replaced that kind of squared off and then rounded piece, put a clear piece there for both the headlights, and it would have looked 100 times better on that set. So I'm glad that they did that here. I do think there's a missed opportunity here with these lights, because they could have easily put a little one-prong piece here, take an orange square, plop it on, and then you'd have what looks like more realistic headlights. But that's my 2 cents. These are both stickers on here. I do like how they did the radiator and kind of like the cooler setup. I forget the actual term for that, but and then the grill here looks nice. Of course, we have the hood that does not stand up, and it doesn't have a broomstick to hold it up, kind of like the FXXK did, but it flies up high enough to where it'll stay open. And of course, you got the famous inline 6. But I wish, now I know I'm asking a lot here, but it's missing a turbo. I wish they could have made some piece that made it look like it had a turbo sitting in here. That would just be awesome. And as you heard from other videos, I really hate this cylinder look. I'd rather it be like, just put that Nissan valve cover over the top, put a sticker on for the engine type on there, and put some decorative pieces that look like turbos and intakes, and I would have liked it better than this functional thing. I am not a fan of this style. I don't know why. I just don't like it. I don't like that I see more sets with it, that I have sets with it. I don't know. Or if anything, if you're going to do it, at least paint it silver. Why is it yellow? I don't understand yellow for what would be like a piston. Never seen yellow pistons in my life. I've only seen metal colored ones, but I'm nitpicking too much. But inside, you can see all of the complexity when it comes to the steering. You have gears over here, gears over here, gears over here, gears over here. That's for the steering. If you take a look, you can see all of it moving all the way up top here, if the hood doesn't close on me, and all the way at the bottom as well. This was a very complex steering rack setup for this car. It kind of surprised me that it was this complex. I don't know why they did it that way, but maybe to get that inline 6 look, they had to move it, you know, shift it upwards, even though it's usually where the wheels are. This one's shifted all the way to the front bumper where the actual steering rack is. And of course, you got the traditional knob here for the steering. Now, you can let me know in the comments, but my car does not roll very well at all. Rear wheel, yes. See? Great. Front wheels, it's struggling. Something is rubbing. I don't know what it is. I built it correctly. I know because I double check, and when I screw up, I usually see it. I'm like, okay, and I rebuild it. But this is a struggle to push. and I have no idea why. Before filming this, I tried, setting it up because I wanted to test out the little drift feature, which we're going to talk about next, but how can you make it drift when it can't even move? It almost... I don't know what is holding it up, why it is, because independently, each wheel will spin perfectly fine. Honestly, when it's them rolling together, all of a sudden, that is a major problem. Something is going wrong. And I really can't see with all the gears in here, because you have a solid, 15, 20 gears, I feel like, in this set. So it's hard to say where exactly. Maybe I put the pieces on too tight together. I don't know. Let me know in the comments if yours ran into the same issue. But of course, next, we have drift mode activated. That's right, and I made sure to take the tablecloth off of this one because drift mode doesn't work on tablecloth. But you have this. There you go. Now imagine if my front wheels could actually move and they weren't feel like broken, then you could probably do some cool tricks. Yeah, just like the movie, right before you go and jump that bridge with your R34. And of course, we have the mechanism that pops it back in. And, as usual, quite a bit of suspension play. I was kind of surprised on that. Actually, it'd been kind of cool if they actually cut some of the suspension to make it sit a little bit lower. Because, Brian's R34 would have had coilovers and it would have been slammed to the ground even though it made a jump off of a bridge. But, who's paying attention to that, right? It's Fast and the Furious. We love those movies because of what they are, not because of their accuracy, But while I do think there's quite a few improvements that could be made to this set, overall, this is a good looking set. It even has a roll cage and 3 bottles of NOS in there to blow your manifold. What else could you want? And it is a very good looking car. I do like this set for what it is. And if you like JDM classics, I guess it is a classic now at this point. It's been almost, 30 years for this car. Then I would definitely recommend this set to you. Now, I think there are some kinks with it, like with mine. It doesn't seem to roll very well. The pieces were insanely tight to put together, so it killed my fingers the entire time. And I felt like there was a few areas where they could have just improved on it in general. But I am happy with the set. I'm glad it's done. I'm glad I have it. No, I will not be getting the Supra smaller Technic set because I think that looks awful. That's just my opinion, but I don't like the look of it. I wish they'd build a bigger one like this so they could add more pieces and make it more like a Supra. I think Block Zone or some other group makes a Mark IV Supra, which I may look into because, hey, we got the Skyline, why not get a Supra as well? Get some of the JDM icons from that time. But I think I'm rambling on too much. The flu is telling me I need to cut this video soon. So, for next week, it's going to be an easy one on me, just because I need some relaxation. So here is your hint. And, well, you may know the car. If you're a car person and watch this channel because I do car builds, you may not know this set. I personally only found this set because of the vehicle. I was looking it up specifically for a reason, which I'll get into in next week's video. But, as always, I appreciate everyone who subscribes to the channel. I think we're up to 63 subscribers already. Hey, I'm loving it. That is absolutely amazing that you take the time out of your day to watch these videos. Even if you're just scanning through for 3 seconds of my input on it, whatever. That's cool. That's awesome to me. I love hearing your comments. I love hearing, when you guys are like, hey, you talked about this set, you hyped it up, kinda. Hey, I got something new to build, or hey, I'm gonna get this set too. Now, hopefully you have the same great experience and I didn't lead you into some kind of pitfall or something, but, I love hearing that stuff. And you guys gave me some recommendations too, which you may see in the future, by the way. So I got a couple on my list that were recommended to me, and I do plan on incorporating them into this channel. Just because I like having other sets as well. I have a lot of Legos in backlog, that's why I do a lot of Lego, but the other brands are keeping up. Some of them are doing a really good job. And while next week's is a new brand to the channel and does not incorporate any complexity at all, this is literally a really quick one. I'm curious to see how the quality is on it. But if you want to know next week's build, pretty much, just check me on Instagram right there. And you'll be able to see my hints. I always drop them Wednesday or Thursday during the week, and that kind of gives you an idea of what's to come on Friday. So thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and I'll catch you next week. So keep building.